All right, we're going back a little bit. Welcome back to the Black Couch. We're going back to remember if you watch the first and second episodes, it was a part one and a part two. And then when I finished part two, I said I was doing part three. Now we on the part three. So when I finished that one, it was like a Thursday, and I had the psych appointment. I think I had just got the Ativan for like 10 days from the primary, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So I had got the 10 days of Ativan, was letting the psychiatrist know everything, like pretty much, this working, it's keeping me calm, I can function, I'm feeling somewhat normal on it. So I'm letting him know that, and in my head, a long term plan could have been the Ativan. I didn't really know too much about the benzos. I wasn't in none of the groups on Facebook. I am now, but that was my thought going into the thing. So he hit me with a curveball, like, you know what? Same thing primary had said. Benzos can be dangerous. It's not a long term effective plan. Now in my head, I'm like, if it's not broke, why mess with this is working. I'm functioning. I had been messed up to a few days, them horrible nights, couldn't sleep, throat feeling like it's feeling like it's something in my throat, having to take all these showers. Then I take this Ativan, and that rainbow, on the cartoons when they wave, ooh, it's like that type feeling. Like, all right, we somewhere back now. So when you come with the Lexapro, I'm kind of hesitant, but just because my experience with all of these prescription medicines, but I'm like, all right, whatever, let's try it. So I don't think I got it the first day, so I think that night might have been the last time I took the Ativan, because then the next morning I got up and went and picked up the Lexapro. Had watched the videos. I don't think, yeah, no, pretty much everybody in videos was saying the first few weeks was crazy, but then they was like, when it hit, it's worth it, but you got to make it to that point. Now I don't know if the Lexapro was bad, or because when I started the Lexapro, I I stopped taking the Ativan and I got the withdrawal again, sensitive body, fast, and all that. So it could have been either one. All I know, what I got to take it is Lexapro. I think the first time, because some people were saying like they take it at night, or it seemed to be whenever they took it, they end up having to switch for them not to be super tired. And then I seen a sweet spot was like 6 o'clock, and the people who took it at 6 seem to have the less effects. So I end up trying it 3 different times. First few times, it might have been the first few times. I think I was taking a half. I was instructed to take like a half, 2 days, and then switch to a whole. But I started getting so many crazy side effects that I just stayed on a half, and tried to see if like the side effects would subside. So I take it at 9 o'clock. That next day around like 2, 3, I'm like super tired. I think I might have did that twice. Then I switched to 6 o'clock. I think it was a little better, and then 1 o'clock. Long story short, the hot flashes got like super hot. Stomach super bloated. Now I'm not sure if the stomach was super bloated because one of those days I had a CPAP. And I ended up having to send CPAP back because regular size ones is on back order. So I had the travel size one, so I just sent it back to get the regular size one because it'd probably be better in the long run for the humidity and keep the mouth not being so dry on top of the medicine, making the mouth dry. So I took it and I woke up and my stomach was just swole, like the commercials where you see the kids with the swole stomach, just a swole. So I guess it's called Afro G or whatever. But after that, I started getting like consistently bloated and constipated and hot and couldn't take any humidity, uh, nose stuff, mouth dry. I had to take cough drops. Uh, it just really was like miserable. Take like I said, I don't know if it was from the Lexapro or benzo withdrawal, but it could have been both. It could have been one or the other. One thing I noticed totally different with the Lexapro though, I started to get like real dizzy and real like spaced out, and that's when I was like, yeah, I gotta stop this because it made me so like detached that it was like in my head, like it was just a horrible feeling. So at that point, I'm like, yeah, I'm getting ready to stop the Lexapro. Called the doctor, let him know what was going on. He's like, yeah, you shouldn't be getting spaced out and detached like that. And I'm like, yeah, well, that's it for me. So go cold turkey. I think may have taken like 4 or 5 days. Stopped that, and then I think I was pretty good a few days without that and the Ativan. Not good as in not getting the side effects. I was still getting side effects, still constipated, still stomach bloating, still like the throat uncomfortable, dry, all that. I was still getting all that, but I was managing it or learning to like, okay, this is this, this is this, this is this. Worked out like a Saturday, and it kind of threw me into a panic, and that's why I ended up taking the Ativan again. And then that was like the last time I took the Ativan up until now. And if you caught the video I just did this morning, of course you know I'm on Boost Pro now. Boost Par. Or I stopped taking it for a little bit too. Let's just say it get too uncomfortable for me. I'm jumping out the shit. We'll figure it out another way. But yeah, Lexapro for me just was horrible. And the benzo withdrawal, if you're in any of those benzo buddy groups, all of them crazy side effects that they say they was experiencing and stuff like that, I definitely can feel your pain because it was very uncomfortable. Some of the most uncomfortable times, whether it's withdrawn from the Ativan or the Lexapro just side effects, and then these doctors act like that nothing is going on with all these people in the group saying the same thing on Facebook, the Benzo buddies and the Benzo withdrawal group, whatever. They all act like, oh, well, mine specifically, like none of this stuff exists. Like it's just all an illusion. It's some conspiracy. It's from my experience, it's pointless just even bringing it up. So but all these people going through it that took this same medicine. Oh, you don't have no histamine intolerance. You're not. It's not. Oh, it's not that bad. It's always. What I'm noticing with them, it's always not the medicine. It's always like, no, it's probably something else. So I don't know. Maybe they're invested. That's how they. I know they're not joking, but that's how they act sometimes. Like it's about to, like they invested in this, or they made it, and it's whatever. But for me, the Lexapro didn't work. Ativan was nice while I was taking it, kept me calm, was able to function. I just didn't want none of that long term smoke, having to withdraw after being on it for years, or just being on the benzo because it's not like the other ones where it's building something up, and at least you got all this serotonin and dopamine and nephrine built up, and so I ain't want none of that smoke being on it for a year and really being like, oh man, I can't get off this. So that's why I just stopped at it, man. And now we linking on the Boost Pro. I got an update with that. Just had a psych appointment again. It's just a throwback from episode 1. Wanted to lay out everything with that, get that out the way. Black Couch Part 1, Episode 1, Part 3. If you tuned in, appreciate it. If you subscribe, appreciate it. Comment, just let me know what you done went through. talking about.